When a person starts exploring the e-biking world and is probably thinking of getting a new e-bike, perhaps the most common question they have in their minds is, why are e-bikes so expensive? It doesn't mean that there ain't any chapter e-bikes. There are lots of companies that make cheaper e-bike, or even the bigger companies have some of their models manufactured to be a bit cheaper. But they come at a cost, meaning you will have to compromise some of the crucial factors, at least for the UK. Ever since the first rollout of bicycles, they have come a long way. Even without a motor and battery, a traditional bicycle is a complex piece of engineering. And if we talk about electric bikes, the engineering obviously costs time and money. A lot more than the average person might expect. And when they see the price tag, they think, is it really worth what I pay for? Then they opt for a cheaper option immediately, especially those models you find on a low budget from Amazon, Walmart. That's where some people make mistakes, because cheap alternatives can sometimes be good, but not always. You might get some peace of mind by cutting on the original costs, but you don't know what awaits you in the long run. So now, we will talk about what issues you have to face after getting a cheap electric bike, what the drawbacks are, and why you shouldn't always rely on them. When we review an e-bike, the very first thing we talk about is the build quality and durability it offers. There's no doubt that e-bikes with an expensive or decent price tag come with a good material build. Meanwhile, cheap e-bikes often sacrifice quality materials in favor of cutting costs. You may not notice such subtle things, but a good e-bike enthusiast or rider can easily find out cheap e-bikes' flaws, and they know those bikes won't last longer at all. The frame might be made from lower-grade aluminum or steel, which will likely get bent or cracked under stress, especially with regular riding or when carrying heavier loads. Over time, these bikes can show signs of wear and tear, such as loose bolts, wobbly parts, or rust in humid environments. If it comes with suspension, it usually remains basic and may fail to absorb shocks adequately. So, you're spending less money and getting less comfort. Though there are some bikes that last long enough, taking cheap e-bikes means you will need to splurge hefty for its repair and replacements, and it will wipe out your initial savings for which you chose the model. One of the main reasons people pick an e-bike is the extra help the motor provides. However, when you choose low-budget e-bikes, you have to accept the fact that the motor could disappoint you. Many of these cheaper bikes come with smaller motors, which are fine for smooth, flat roads, but struggle when faced with steeper hills or rougher surfaces. For those who carry groceries, a backpack, or even a child, this lack of power becomes even more noticeable. The motor may also overheat if pushed too hard, which can lead to breakdowns more frequently. In everyday use, this means unexpected stops or repairs, which can be frustrating. Plus, on cheaper models, the motor isn't always well integrated with the rest of the bike, which can cause uneven power kick-in. So you might face some problems like jerky movements and instability. Over time, your enjoyable ride turns into a frustrating and exhausting experience. Now, let's talk about the thing that keeps your e-bike alive: batteries. It's often the first thing manufacturers compromise on to keep costs low. Many budget e-bikes come with smaller, lower-grade batteries, which means you won't be able to ride as far before needing to recharge. For example, while a more expensive e-bike might let you travel 40 to 60 miles on a single charge, a cheaper one may only get you 15 to 20 miles. So, if you're using your e-bike for commuting or longer rides, you'll find yourself in a situation where you need to charge your battery back and forth. Budget batteries tend to wear out faster too. After a year or two, you might notice your battery isn't holding a charge like it used to. When it gets worse, you'll need to replace it, and that doesn't come cheap. Plus, some cheap e-bike batteries are proprietary, meaning they're made specifically for that model. That's another headache. What seemed like a smart way to save money can end up being really frustrating and costing you more than you expected. If you talk about the safety standards of electric bikes, you know they must meet some basic safety regulations. But low-budget bikes often lack the advanced safety features found in higher-end options. For example, many cheaper e-bikes use basic mechanical disc brakes. These brakes may not provide the same stopping power as hydraulic brakes, especially when it's wet outside or if you're riding at higher speeds. This can be a serious concern, particularly if you need to stop quickly to avoid an obstacle or during an unexpected situation. Moreover, the wiring and electrical systems in budget e-bikes may not be designed well, which can lead to shorts or malfunctions. Apart from that, cheaper e-bikes might not go through the same rigorous testing for crash safety, or they may skip essential safety certifications. This means you could be riding a bike that isn't as safe as it should be for high-speed travel. In everyday life, this lack of safety features can make a big difference. No matter if the bike is expensive or cheap, your safety should always be a top priority. Often, people look to a technologically updated electric bike for their next pick, because e-bikes are more than just two-wheeled transportation in today's tech-driven world. A decent-priced electric bike comes with a smart connectivity system, a bike computer, a smart display, controller, assist levels, different riding modes, and many more. However, budget e-bikes often lag behind in this area. Many of them feature basic LCD screens that only display battery life and speed, while more premium models offer integrated displays with turn-by-turn navigation, ride data tracking, and other necessary things. Additionally, cheap e-bikes usually lack Bluetooth or app connectivity, which means you can't pair your bike with your phone for features like remote diagnostics, performance tuning, or anti-theft tracking. The lack of smart technology can make riding feel old-fashioned and less convenient, especially for those who are used to modern connected devices in their everyday lives. Just buying an electric bike doesn't end the scene, because there are some facts like after-sale service, longer warranties, and reliable support from manufacturers. When choosing an e-bike, the brand you buy from can make a big difference in the level of support you receive. If you get a bike from a known, reliable brand with strong reputations, they tend to offer better support if something goes wrong. On the other hand, cheaper, lesser-known brands often operate on thinner margins, which means they may not have the resources to provide comprehensive after-sales support. If your bike has an issue, you might find it hard to get in touch with customer service, or you could discover that spare parts are difficult to come by. So, cheap e-bikes might seem like a great deal at first, but their drawbacks can cause problems down the road. Poor build quality, weak motors, and short battery life can lead to a frustrating and uncomfortable ride. They may also lack important safety features. Plus, repairs and replacements can add up quickly, wiping out any money you saved up front. It's also true that every low-budget e-bike isn't bad, but you have to choose very wisely, because spending a little more on a quality e-bike can give you a better, safer, and more enjoyable experience in the long run. We hope you find this information helpful. We're not talking about low-budget e-bikes, because who doesn't want affordability? But to avoid those annoying issues in the long run, why not invest a little more and get a reliable option? Thank you.